Donald Trump being indicted is now imminent, at least according to a new report. We're talking about Manhattan DA. Let's put up the picture full mass here. A New York Times report released Thursday revealed Manhattan prosecutors under Alvin Bragg are taking steps consistent with an imminent indictment of Donald Trump for brokering hush money, actual dollar payments to the adult film star Stormy Daniels. And the former president is already responding to the news, naturally. Shortly after the story dropped, Trump's legal team released a furious statement on Twitter, slamming the prosecutors involved in the case. The Trump spokesperson said, and I quote, "The Manhattan district attorney's threat to indict President Trump is simply insane. For the past 5 years, the DA's office has been on a witch hunt, investigating every aspect of President Trump's life. And they've come up empty every turn. And now this, the fact that their intensive investigation, the DA is even considering a new political attack is a clear exoneration of President Trump in all areas. President Trump was the victim of extortion then, just as he is now. It's an embarrassment to the Democrat prosecutors, and it's an embarrassment to New York City." Yeah, so first of all, I think Donald Trump wrote that himself, as he was accustomed to doing before he became president. Now, let's be very clear about this particular rebuttal. It says nothing rooted in fact, nothing rooted in statute, nothing rooted in an actual proclamation of innocence. It simply says, don't trust the messengers. That is it. So if you don't trust the messengers, you cannot trust the message. It's their point. Bottom line, if Donald Trump is innocent of a particular crime, this is a great thing for Donald Trump and his allies. He has enough influence, and money, and resources to get proper defense. If he is in fact innocent, this is the best thing that can happen. Why? Because he gets full exoneration. Not the play kind like he did during his presidency. Double jeopardy would be attached, meaning he could not be prosecuted for this crime ever again in the future. So when? If he's innocent, but if he's not, if he actually did engage in criminal misconduct, then you don't want to talk about the facts. You don't need this to go to a jury. You don't need this to go before a judge. Let's be very clear. All of this is happening because of Trump's own criminal activity. He was allowed to operate well outside of the lines of legality prior to being president, while being president, and even post-presidency. As I said before, Donald Trump will be a defendant for the rest of his life in some form. You are seeing that now, so let's count the ways. You have Letitia James, the AG. You have Fani Willis, the DA in Fulton County, Georgia. You now have the Manhattan prosecution. You have the federal grand jury still convened investigating Donald Trump, and there may be more. The new steps by DA Bragg come as multiple other criminal investigations into Trump proceed, including federal probes into the January 6th and the classified document scandal by Special Prosecutor Jack Smith. And Fulton County, Georgia Prosecutor Fani Willis, who was investigating election interference in that state. Bragg has not yet made a formal decision to indict Trump despite clear steps toward doing so. And the grand jury would have to sign off on any charges against him. And I think that's the part Democrats have done an especially poor job at messaging. At the end of the day, the Manhattan DA does not indict, the grand jury does, citizens do. At the end of the day, the DOJ does not indict, the grand jury does, citizens do. At the end of the day, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis does not indict, the grand jury, the citizens of Fulton County do. All right, dear brother, what are your thoughts here?
I think when you said that Donald Trump is going to be a defendant for the rest of his life, you're right. I think since he came into office and since he started doing all the things and since he left, whether it was impeachment hearings or whether it's just this week alone, just off the top of my head, that latest book that he has, Letters from Trump, he got all those letters without the rights from any of the people who wrote them, without any of their permission. And these are a lot of powerful people. You're talking Hillary Clinton, you're talking Oprah Winfrey, people who might go, okay, I'll bite, and go through a legal proceeding with Donald Trump. The fact is, you're dealing with someone who has gone through his entire life, has been trained by his dad, Fred Trump, to act as though the law does not apply to you, to act as though you're above the law, to act as though, legal hearings and court proceedings are speed bumps, like to the rest of us, right? They're little hints or suggestions. I hope that there is some court, ideally a number of courts, who can finally tell Donald Trump that no, this is the end of the line. You are not above the law, even if you're a former president. But unfortunately, we have yet to actually see the case.
Yeah, well, privilege is a hell of a drug. We'll continue to follow this to its completion.